I've always been afraid of confined spaces, especially elevators, but for a different reason. I was afraid that the cable would break, that I would get stuck, that I would run out of air. I knew that would never happen, but I was uncomfortable being in an elevator. In the evening, I was sent to the store. I lived on the 11th floor, and I couldn't go down the stairs. It was dark. There was no chance of anyone being there. I had to take the elevator. I pressed the call button and waited. The elevator was going somehow too long. Finally, its doors opened. Inside, everything was painted, and there was some unpleasant smell, but there was no choice, and I went inside. I pressed the button for the first floor, and after a few minutes, I realized that I was going for a long time. I had been going for about 5 minutes, and I would not say that I was going slowly. On the contrary, very fast. I opened my eyes. The lights went out, and I was left in total darkness. I squeezed my eyes shut. The elevator kept going, and I felt someone else's presence, as if someone was walking around me. I don't know what it was, but I could feel it walking around me. "Don't open your eyes," it hissed. My hair stood up on end. What was this creature? It touched my forehead. The hand was covered in fur. It looked like the hand of some animal. "Don't be afraid of me. I am your friend," it said. I still stood with my eyes closed. Its hand disappeared, and I stopped feeling someone else's presence near me. The elevator stopped. I stepped forward and opened my eyes. It was the first floor. Turning around, I wanted to look at the elevator. On the walls was written, "We'll meet again." It was written in blood. I was dreading this meeting, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to it. Sometimes I dream the same thing in my dreams, but the dream always ends with the phrase, "Don't be afraid of me. I'm your friend." This story happened, and still happens, in my friend's mystical house. The unexplainable began 50 years ago, when a family lived in this house, a mother, father, and their son. The son was very ill, and at the moment of aggravation, he had seizures. His terrible fits of rage always led to bad consequences. His parents shielded him from the outside world and enclosed their house with a strong fence, and the whole plot resembled a cage. One day the boy's parents argued, and the son again had a nervous breakdown. As a result of his violent actions, killed his mother. Soon the child himself could not bear such grief, and the man, left without a family, decided to move to another city. After a while, the newlyweds moved into the ill-fated house. Strange things happened to them, but they tried to convince themselves that it seemed to them, but the house depressed them more and more. Eventually, they said goodbye to the house and to each other. A few years later, the house was occupied by new owners. The owner decided to tear down the house and build a new one, leaving the foundation. The family life of the new owners did not go well either. They quarreled, got sick, and tired of it all, decided to exchange their house. Eventually, they divorced and sold the horrible place to other people. And then my neighbors moved in. My friend's mom had a wild tantrum when she saw in the mirror, instead of her reflection, the image of a girl with long black hair and a smirk on her face. My friend herself woke up one day from a loud, foreign sound. She saw a thin human silhouette in the window. Going outside, her father found no one, and there was no sign of anyone. In the 4 years they lived in the house, there were 3 unrelated fires. The most interesting thing happens in the parents' bedroom. No way their cat goes in there. And a friend's little nephew, once in that room, burst into tears and pointed his finger at some auntie